Inside everyone's pocket is one of the most powerful objects humans have ever created. And if, like mine, your phone was envisioned by Steve Jobs, then you also have an example of artificial intelligence. Siri.
I'm listening.
No, you're not. Siri isn't anything like HAL from 2001: Space Odyssey or C-3PO from Star Wars. But, by modern definitions, Siri is an artificial intelligence, a computer program which is capable of doing things that conventionally only intelligent humans would be able to do. Siri can answer questions, tell you jokes, and learn from its interactions with us. But how do we turn something like Siri into a truly intelligent artificial human, made only of wires, a motherboard, and silicon?
The idea that we can simulate the human brain was put forward about 80 years ago by Alan Turing, the man who famously cracked the Enigma code. This belief revolves around the idea that the human brain is a purely mathematical machine. The issue is, it's so much more than that, and that's the reason that there aren't digital people walking around 100 years later. The biggest spanner in the works when it comes to producing artificial true intelligence is the idea of consciousness. Consciousness can be broken down into two things. The first is information processing. This is your capacity to learn. And the second is an idea called awareness. And awareness is what makes you, you. We can model information processing really, really well. We've done this by producing a series of algorithms which work together, known as neural networks. The issue when it comes to consciousness is the latter part, awareness. Put simply, that's because we don't actually know very much about awareness. We know what it does, it allows us to have subjective experiences, and it makes us us, but we don't know how it does that, and we don't know why it does that evolutionarily. The latter would require a video in and of itself. So for now, we're going to focus on the how and the what, rather than the why. Because of course, you can build a superpowered Siri without needing to really have a good reason for it. The reason we struggle so much to understand these questions is because awareness isn't purely mechanistic. It's not simply produced. Rather, awareness produces everything in your life. It is, at the most fundamental level, you. Everything you think you know, feel, and experience is simply your awareness, and without it, you would just go back to your biologically pre-programmed existence, to sleep, eat, mate, and repeat. But instead of this, our brains assign meaning to everything that happens in our lives through communication between the cortex and other parts of our brain, such as the amygdala. Information only truly exists if this happens, because if it doesn't, it may as well not have happened, because we're not aware of it.
As I've said, we don't quite know the mechanism for awareness or how it works. But there's one way it could be explained. AI. Normally, we base computer programs on a known structure. For example, computer vision is very loosely based on how the human eye works, and neural networks on the brain's cortical columns. But there is a branch of AI research which is a little bit different to the rest of them. Cognitive AI is aimed at explaining the human brain's function by studying artificial intelligence. If we can build an AI which can comprehend meaning, then there is a chance that we can develop consciousness. And as a result of that, to some extent, understand human consciousness a tiny bit better. This relies somewhat on the fact that evolution doesn't produce perfect solutions to the problems that it comes up against. It simply produces the most readily available solution from the mutations that it's provided with. Much like if you give two children a box containing random Legos, they may well both be able to build a house, but the constituent parts of that house may be different. And as a result of that, while the finished product is still recognisably a house in both cases, both of the houses are significantly different on the inside. A great example of evolution not producing perfect solutions is actually the human eye. If we look at the human eye and compare it to the eyes of invertebrates, for example squid, we notice that the human eye is actually wired backwards. And it's the fact that it's wired backwards that produces the blind spot in your retina. With regards to building an AI which can perceive meaning or be conscious, the difference is that we're not working with building blocks that have been given to us. We are building those building blocks and selecting them to produce a perfect solution to our problem. We're masters of AI's destiny, and as a result of that, there is a chance, a slim one, but a chance nonetheless, that we could build a second solution to the problem of consciousness. As the expression goes, there is more than one way to skin a cat. So, maybe there's a chance that Siri can get that fur coat she's been asking for, after all.